Hey everyone, this is Jeff Batts with Learning Dojo, and I just want to talk a little bit about a new template that I have that you can access at learningdojo.net/downloads. Now, this is a template basically that makes any YouTube video interactive, meaning that at certain points, which you decide what those points are, it'll trigger a question for the user. So as they're watching the video, as they're basically just sitting there and watching it, it's going to pause the video and it's going to ask them a question about that video. And so they have to answer that question, then they get some feedback, and then it continues on from there. So great for any type of e-learning or any type of review. If you have your videos on YouTube and you want somebody to go in and review that and get asked a question, well, you can do that with any YouTube video. So first of all, once you download it, you'll get this folder, and inside the folder you'll have CSS files, image files, and JavaScript files. And the code is basically all accessible. You can go in there, you can open it up, you can change it how you want. There is a readme.txt file that will actually help you get started with that. But first of all, let's go ahead and open this up in Sublime. So I'm going to open up 1.1, the version 1.1 in Sublime, and then I'm going to double click on the index.html. So if I want to change this interactive YouTube, I can do that. You can see the different JavaScript and CSS files that I'm using, and then you can come in here and edit some of the content and layout. But you'll notice I'm using handlebars, which means that it's actually pulling from a JavaScript object and another JavaScript file the information from there. So I don't even have to come into the HTML file to update the content. I made it so you just go into one JSON or JavaScript object and edit the JSON formatted JavaScript. And that's all you have to do is pretty much just go into that the JavaScript file and adjust that JavaScript object with the JSON formatted content. So I'm going to show you how to do that in a second, but let's first of all go ahead and take a look at what this looks like here. And so here's my interactive YouTube template. We have a title up on top, or our logo up on top. We have this red bar. I'll show you how to change the color on that. You can even get rid of it if you want on the HTML file. We have this title, which you can change. I'll show you where to change that. And then we also have some text, and then some text below as well. And then we have this embedded YouTube video. In order to trigger different things with YouTube, you do need to have it embedded. So that's why I have it in kind of this shell content. And that allows me to trigger different things at certain points in the video. So I'm going to go ahead and just preview this now. And let's just watch this video for a second. A bad lip reading video. And a couple seconds in, it basically asked me a question. So it says question 1. And then it has the question text right here. And then I have my possible choices below. So all I have to do is basically say, okay, well, here's my different choices. I'm going to go ahead and choose this choice. And then it gives me the correct feedback, and it allows me to continue from there. And what happens is as soon as I hit continue, the video is actually going to continue. And even though the user pauses, it's not going to trigger the next question until it reaches that point in the video. I'm looking for a very specific time in that video before it pops open the next question. So let's go ahead and go into the code and show you how to edit that part. So inside of the JS folder is our info.js. This is a JavaScript object, and it's formatted with JSON data. So the important thing to remember is you have a key and a value for each of the content. So the key here is basically page title, and then the value is within these quotes. So we definitely do not want to get rid of the quotes. However, we can go in and we can change the content inside of those quotes. We can even add on our own HTML tags if we wanted to. You can see that I'm adding a strong tag around the title, and that's what comes in and adds this title up on top. So if I want to come in and change that, let me go ahead and go into the JSON or the JavaScript object here, and I'm going to say title video, hit save, come back over here, hit refresh, and you can see now the title video is right there. So we have our title video, and then we have the text. So really all that I have to do in order to update this content is basically come in and just change the text here. So you see page instruction bottom, that's the text that actually happens after the video right here. And then right here is the video ID. This is where I change it and grab a new video from YouTube. And you can grab that ID basically from any YouTube video that you go to. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up youtube.com, and I'm going to find a video here. So let's go ahead and grab this video. And then at the end of this video, if I see the URL, you can see after this equal sign is the ID. So if I just copy that ID, come back over here and then replace that ID, let's go ahead and hit refresh back on our interactive YouTube. And you can see now it has changed the video. It's still going to trigger the video or the questions at the same amount of time, so I'm going to need to update that next. So inside of this questions section, we have question 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so inside of each question, we have a question heading, question text, and then right here is the question time. Basically, in seconds, I'm going to have to type in at what point in the video do I want this to pop up. And right now, the first question is triggered to pop up in 5 seconds, mostly for demonstration purposes, so I don't have to wait 15 seconds before I can show you the question that pops up. But the second one actually pops up at 30 seconds. So the next question is going to pop that up. But if I want this to happen at 20 seconds, well, I can go ahead and change the question time to 20 seconds. Now I can come in and update the title of the question, update the text, the possible answers, and then come down here to the correct title. If they get it correct, I can update that so it doesn't absolutely say correct. You can have it say something else. Or the correct text, I can have that as well. I can even add on some HTML if I wanted to. So HTML tags inside of here. Sorry, there we go. And then end that with a B tag as well. So whatever you want it to do, you can also do that with the incorrect and correct. And so if I wanted to format some more HTML inside of here, I'm more than able to do that. But that's essentially, so I just go through all those 5 questions, filling that out, and then coming down to the label section and the submit button, I can change, as well as the color of the separator bar. The color base of this separator bar right here, I can go in and add a new hex value inside of that color, and it's going to change to a different color. Very flexible. You can go in, you can update your content, and then you can basically put this on a website somewhere. You can embed it inside of a YouTube, or so you can embed it inside of an e-learning course if you wanted to through like the web window, or you can actually go in and you can download the SCORM wrapper through scorm.com or SCORM Cloud and download their SCORM driver, and even have at the end of this trigger a completion. If I come into the interaction.js, this is basically the trigger of different things that will happen. So you can see in the document ready, it's basically going to come in here. This is where I'm updating the background, but you can see if it has a correct, this is how I'm figuring out the correct answer. If it's current question here, and it does not have a correct, then it's going to show incorrect answer. So that's basically just hide and show those questions. And then also here's my YouTube video, my YouTube API coming down here. This basically update time is going to trigger things at a certain time. So that's what sets the timer to then be looking for what time it is, and then it's grabbing some other information from the JSON file. But here's the important time saying, or the important thing is on progress saying, okay, here's question 1. If current time is greater than question 1 time, then go ahead and pop open this question. And so that's, if you wanted to change some of the logic, this is where you would come in and change that. However, this function right here on player state change, you can see right here, if the event is playing, you can trigger some code as well. That doesn't matter where it's at, it's just if it's playing. If it's paused, you can also trigger where it's actually paused. And I'm storing that information inside of a variable so I can get the current time when that's actually paused. And then here is once it's finished, no matter how long the video is, it's going to trigger a completion. Well, that trigger completion is actually, if you download that Java or the SCORM driver through scorm.com, you can actually just uncomment this line out, that code out, and it's going to trigger a completion at the end of the video. So I have that commented out so it doesn't actually affect it if it's not inside of the SCORM driver. But if you wanted it inside of the SCORM driver, you can download it there and then place this content inside of the SCORM driver. It's pretty simple. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know, but I hope you enjoy this templates that you can find on learningdojo.net/downloads.